Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Andy, and we're here from Heart of the Game.
We're here to give you some great budget commander cards. Today we're going to be talking about white cards that are going to cost under $5 and under $1.
Now, this isn't the end-all be-all of Commander budget cards. This is just our list of underutilized cards that should probably see a bit more play.
Yeah, maybe they don't go into every deck, but I would say above 80% of decks could benefit from most, if not all, of these cards. So we're going to start out with our $1 and less underutilized white commander cards.
Yep.
Our first card is going to be Mentor of the Meek. Now, Mentor of the Meek is a pretty unique effect in white because in white you don't really have access to very much card draw. You've got access to, like, Alms Collector,
And then your artifacts, really.
and then artifacts. And they're usually all overcosted, but I think Mentor of the Meek is probably the best card draw spell that white has for commander.
Probably.
Because you're
And then-
already playing things that produce either tokens or you're just playing small creatures like Thalia.
Yeah. And then you're going to sit there and you're going to have so many token generators like Locust God, Young Pyromancer, Saheeli, Monastery Mentor that
just
just
elves.
synergize really well with it.
Yeah, like if you have haste on your elves, like if you have like a Concordant Crossroads or something and you just like play a Llanowar elf, you can just tap that elf to draw a card.
And then you've got the Locust God just synergizes so well. You get to just dump
Dump
all
all
of
your
your mana to draw that many cards, to create that many creatures to swing at your opponent.
Yeah, that just seems really, really good to me. Like, I remember I had a Jeskai deck, and I used to do that all the time. That was, like, my favorite play, is just have a Mentor and a Locust God and just, like, draw a card, dump all my mana into drawing more cards and creating more dudes. That was just the best feeling in the world. Just tap 8 mana, draw 8 cards, create 8 dudes.
Our next card is Hour of Revelation. Now, this card is probably most similar to Planar Cleansing in that it's going to destroy all non-land permanents. But unlike Planar Cleansing, this card costs 3 less if there are 10 or more non-land permanents on the battlefield.
Wait, so what you're telling me is I can cast a 3 mana board wipe that kills everything.
Yep.
That's broken. That's just absurd. Like, nothing else at 3 mana does anything more than just killing most creatures.
Yeah, you've got your Toxic Deluge, your Anger of the Gods, those sort of effects, but they don't destroy everything.
Yeah, they all come with some sort of drawback, too.
And I mean, like, there are other ones that are modular that cost 6 mana, like Merciless Eviction and Austere Command, where you're just like,
Kill this one particular type of thing, or in Austere Command's case,
two
kill
of them.
2 particular types of things. But, like, man, that just seems
3
really
extra
good.
mana is a lot.
That just seems really good for 3 mana. Even if it is white, that's still not too trivial, all things considered. Our next card is Felidar Guardian. This card is most notable for when it was in Standard getting banned within, I think it was 3 months or less?
It was
Less than 3 months.
It was definitely less than 3 months because it was before the next set came out.
Yeah, and then pretty shortly into Pioneer being a format, it also got hit with that Swift ban hammer. Like, that card got banned because it combos with Saheeli Rai. Saheeli will make a copy of the Felidar Guardian, which when that enters will blink the Saheeli, which will make another Felidar Guardian, which will blink the Saheeli, and you end up with basically a
As
Splinter
many as
Twin.
you want.
You basically use Splinter Twin combo.
It also has the exact same combo with Kiki Jiki.
Yeah, Kiki Jiki will just tap because it has haste. It'll copy the Felidar Guardian. The cat will blink Kiki Jiki, which means that because Kiki Jiki has haste, he can then make another cat, which will blink Kiki, which means after I make
All
like
the
10
guys.
trillion of them, I'll just say, I think that's enough and just kill you.
And then you also have it. synergizing super well with just enter the battlefield effects. Like, you play your Reclamation Sage, you blink it, you get another destroy target artifact or enchantment. You do it with Bane of Progress, you're destroying all of them, and you just got the main effect you're looking for from Bane of Progress for only 4 mana.
It also pairs well with, like, Karmic Guide or Revelark, because you can just start getting things back from your graveyard, and maybe those can blink the Guardian, which can get more stuff back, and who knows.
And it's also very similar to Restoration Angel, except for it hits any permanent. So you can blink out your Bojuka Bog.
Oh man, Bojuka Bog's usually pretty backbreaking when you hit someone once during a game, much less if you hit 2 people or the same person twice. Like,
Yeah.
that's gonna ruin someone's day.
Next up, we have White Mane Lion.
Why would I play a creature that has to return a creature to my hand?
Because your opponent is playing a board wipe, and you're just like, I really like my Atali. That card is generating a lot of value for me. I'll play my White Mane Lion, bounce him back, and now White Mane Lion is getting destroyed instead of Atali.
It also seems pretty good with another card we just mentioned, Mentor the Meek. 3 mana, draw a card at instant speed seems pretty good too.
It's pretty good, but I'll one-up you, and we're going to go with Chulane instead. Because
oh man,
he just bounces it back, and you even get to keep putting lands in play with him.
So that's just another 2 mana growth spiral that you can just repeat, right?
Again and again.
Until you're out of mana.
Again.
And our last white card for under $1 that we think more people should play in Commander is Lapse of Certainty. Now, white doesn't have a lot of counterspells. Basically, no one outside of blue has a lot of counterspells.
No.
Red, I think, has the next most, right? With like 3 of them, and they mostly hate out blue cards.
White also has around 3,
But
they aren't.
regardless, they don't cost 1.
No.
But Lapse of Certainty is most well utilized when your opponent casts a game-winning spell and no one else has any blue mana up. So you just say, hey, put that thing back on top of your library. I don't want to lose right now. And then that also alerts the rest of the table who plays blue to just say, hey, maybe I don't tap out on my turn to cast my commander. Maybe I just hold up this counterspell that I have in hand and don't lose the game.
I mean, the biggest thing, though, is you get the surprise on your opponent of playing it in white. So you leave up 2 green and a white, and your opponent's just going to tap out, play their Torment of Hailfire, and then they're going to just have it put back on the top of their library. No effects happen, and they're out of mana. Also, another thing you can do with this is it's basically a 3-mana Time Walk.
While editing this, I realized that we never explained what time walking your opponent was. Time walking your opponent is making your opponent essentially skip their turn, whether it's wasting their turn or actually taking an additional turn. In this instance, we are referring to your opponent wasting their turn.
Because they draw their Llanowar Elf on turn 10. They play their Llanowar Elf. You Lapse of Certainty it, putting it on top of their library. That's all they're doing that turn, and they're going to have to do it again next turn.
Yeah, that just seems rude.
So now we're going to move on to $5 or less white Commander budget cards. We're going to start this off with one of my personal favorites is Sun Titan. This card is so versatile. At a 6 mana, 6/6 vigilance, it's already got a good body.
Yeah, that's already pretty good.
And then it enters the battlefield and attacks. You get any permanent mana 3 or less, which is the majority of the cards that you're playing in your deck. So like lands, creatures, just you can get back a planeswalker. Like Animatu comes out, flickers your Sun Titan again, and you get another.
Yeah, it's just really good because there are so many things, at least in my decks that I play at 3 mana or less. I usually play 2 drops the deck.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, Sun Titan gets back probably 80% of the permanents that I play.
You have a strip mine, and you just every time you attack, you get to destroy someone's land.
Yeah, strip mine, wasteland, a fetch land, it doesn't matter. Just get it back every turn. That's just value. Like, even if it's just a land and it's just like an Evolving Wilds, you can consistently hit your land drop, and when you draw a land, you can still play that too.
Yeah, it's not even your land drop.
Right. You're going to consistently have a land every turn. And that's, I think, just one of those things that people overlook. People don't look at that and just say, oh, that's insane.
No, you have
But-
to look for that end game part
Yeah.
when you're going to be wanting to cast multiple spells in the same
Yeah, you
turn.
just want to grind out value. And Sun Titan just grinds so well. And it gets back things like Gilded Drake. It gets back Imprisoned in the Moon. Like, those are both really good removal spells at 3 mana or less.
Then it brings back things that your opponents are always removing, like Rhystic Study. I want my Rhystic Study in play. They're
Yeah.
always like, nah, I don't want that, fam.
No one wants to play against a Rhystic Study. Because what's the most annoying question? Did you pay the 1? Our next white card for $5 or less that we think is underutilized in Commander is Eerie Interlude. Now, Eerie Interlude protects you from a board wipe, right?
Yep.
Lets you get your enters the battlefield effects again, right?
And leaves the battlefield if you have something with
Yeah,
that.
like a Revel Arc or anything like that. Vesper Lark does it too. So, what does that sound like?
That's Ghostway. Only instead of costing $25?
Last I knew it was like between $15 and $30.
But now we've got under $5 version.
Yeah, like that card is incredible. And it works super, super well with cards like Archaeomancer or Eternal Witness or Mnemonic Wall, because they just, any of those three can get back the Eerie Interlude to just repeat it again.
I will always have my creatures protected.
Yeah, that just seems really good to me.
Next up on the list, we kind of cheated a little bit because we're putting 2 in 1 because they always go together, is Karmic Guide and Revelark.
I can play a Revelark to get a 4/3 flyer into play. Then I can Eerie Interlude it to get back a Karmic Guide to get back something else. Then,
To get back a Consecrated Sphinx.
or a Sun Titan or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just, you get these incredible synergies between Revelark and Karmic Guide because you can also just Eerie Interlude them every single turn to just start bringing back creature after creature after creature from your graveyard with Revelark's trigger.
And they do get all of your creatures with power 2 or less onto the battlefield if you have a sack outlet with it.
Yeah. So if you have like a Viscera or anything like that, you can just bring back every single thing with power 2 or less. It's just really, really good. The next card that we have on our list here is Aura of Silence. Now, Aura of Silence, I've been seeing a little bit more frequently lately, but that's probably because I've been playing it. I've been the one playing it. And when it's on the other side of the field, it's very annoying to play against. I don't like having to pay 3 mana for a Soul Ring. That just seems awful.
Yeah, and then your opponent can just sacrifice it to destroy it if they want to set you far enough behind. Like,
Yeah, like it's just absurd how good and versatile this is. Because if someone pays 5 mana for a Blood Moon, you can just kill the Blood Moon.
yeah, you don't have to pay the mana because Blood Moon will normally start locking you out of colors, and this is already on the battlefield, so you
Right.
just sacrifice it.
So, the original printing of this card said target opponent. Just so that you guys know, a few years ago, they errataed the card text to say each opponent. The one that I play still says target because I like the fancy old border foiling, but just make sure that everyone at your table knows if you're playing the old version that it's not target opponent, it is each opponent who is affected.
Our last $5 or less white card is Aven Mind Sensor. This card is so good.
I can say I've seen that played in almost every game of Commander that I play at our Sunday events, and it's arguably the most annoying card to play against because you can just cast a Demonic Tutor and your opponent just says, look at the top 4 instead, because I don't want you getting the answer to my board because I'm the threatening player.
And not only that, it's just like this perfect little body of a 2/1 flyer that you can attach your equipments to, that sort of thing. Throw my sword on it, sort of the animist, anything.
Yeah, just get
like,
these triggers. It also is phenomenal if you play a Timna or an Edric or a Derevi. All three of those cards are really good with Aven Mind Sensor.
because that evasion you get with flying is just
Yeah,
good.
everyone overlooks the evasion in Commander. Trust me, you're gonna get in for some amount of chip damage, and chip damage adds up throughout Commander, and it's probably one of my favorite white cards to play. I probably play that in more decks than any other white card.
Oh, and like your Crom deck is always hitting through for
Oh
chip
yeah,
damage, so like it just adds up.
yep. So that was our top 5 Commander cards that we think are underutilized for $5 and less and $1 and less.
No, and that was such a great list. Like, I want to see people play these more. I like playing against opponents who are playing stronger cards that
Yeah.
give me problems. It's not fun for me to just win.
Yeah, like I want to see everyone trying to play like good cards. Like it's just so much more fun when everyone's on the same power level, and like when you're playing cards like these, it just makes it so that everyone is so much closer. I also now kind of want to go build a deck where I play most, if not all, of these cards. Thank you guys for tuning into Heart of the Games YouTube channel. Just so that you know, this is going to be a repeated series. If you think that there are cards that we missed, put them down in the comment section below. We are going to cover the remaining colors and multicolored and artifacts and lands.
Lands are so much fun.
Lands are so much fun.